Hey guys, and welcome to my first video on YouTube. This is my first time doing a review on a coffee maker. This is my first time actually doing a review, period, because I've never done a review on any products. I have made YouTube videos in the past. I made some YouTube videos about fireworks and stuff like that. But I've never done a review on I'd never done reviews before, so this is my first review, so this is my first take on it, so we'll just see how this goes. Today's review is going to be on the Cuisinart Cpo 800. Now, I have many coffee makers in my day. I've had the, I started out with the Keurig, actually, the Keurig coffee maker, which uses little K-cups. I thought the coffee came out of that was extremely weak, and the coffee just didn't really taste good. And then I bought the reusable K-cup to brew, to brew your own coffee, and the coffee that came out of that really wasn't so hot. I thought the coffee kind of tasted fairly weak, and it just, I don't know, it just seemed like it just didn't really work out. So then I decided to go with manual brewing, because I thought that would make the best cup of coffee that way. I've used a French press, and I thought the coffee that came out of that wasn't very good. I thought the coffee that came out of there was kind of weak, and I didn't like the sediment in the cup that it provided. And then I tried a pour-over coffee maker, and I liked the result of that coffee, but it's, kind of finicky. I mean, the coffee that came out of that was inconsistent. Sometimes it would make good coffee, sometimes it would make bad coffee. I've had different types of pour-overs. I've had, the Harvey V60. I've also had a Chemex, and, and then last year for Christmas I got a Ninja coffee bar, and that, we all know that's supposed to make really good coffee, supposed to make, regular coffee, or even it will make espresso style drinks like lattes and cappuccinos. But I just thought the coffee that came out of that wasn't very good. I thought it came out very lukewarm and weak, and didn't taste anywhere the same as it did out of the pour-over, because I thought the pour-over coffee was fantastic, but the only issue was that it was inconsistent and it wasn't easy to use. So then this past Christmas I got this Cuisinart Cpo 800. At first I just wasn't real thrilled about it. I thought the coffee that came out of it just wasn't strong enough. But then I figured out how to do it correctly. So now I've had this for a couple weeks now, and I think it brews fantastic coffee. I think the coffee it comes out of is great. Now, it's not perfect though. There are some flaws with it. One thing I don't like about it necessarily is although it makes great coffee, but I don't think it tastes the same as it does out of a pour-over. And I don't think it's the best coffee maker when it comes to the price. At first I kind of thought that, because this coffee maker is kind of expensive. For $150 I was expecting a little bit better coffee than it was producing. The coffee comes out of it kind of reminds me of a cheaper or lower end coffee maker, but at the same time, I think the coffee that comes out of this is way better than a Mr. Coffee would ever produce, or in 1,000 times better than a Keurig, that's for sure. But I don't think that this coffee maker can compete with a Technivore Mocha Master, obviously, because that's a $300 coffee maker and this is a $150 coffee maker. But I do think that this is a fantastic coffee maker if you're looking to step up from a Mr. Coffee or something. So this is like a great a great coffee maker if you're, coming from a traditional, cheap, low-end coffee maker, but it's not going to be the coffee maker I would recommend if you're like an advanced coffee drinker or something like that. If you're interested in the best cup of coffee you could possibly get for the money, the best coffee maker to get then, it would be the Technivore Mocha Master. I think that makes the best coffee, period. I mean, way better than this. But this definitely makes a suitable cup of coffee. I definitely give this a 5-star coffee maker. It makes fantastic coffee. It even came with a reusable filter. Let me show you that real quick. Let me go ahead and get that down there. Oops. Now actually, I'm sorry, that's not it. That's actually my pour-over. This is a Melita pour-over unit, and this is what I used to use. I use that, and I also have a Harvey V60, and I do have a French press. And, here's my French press down here, if you want to see that. Okay, that's what I used to use. That's the French press right there. The coffee that came out of that was always kind of silty and sludgy. I was not a fan of that, but let's see here. Here it is. This is the reusable filter that came with this coffee maker. the coffee it produces out of here is similar to like a French press. So I thought the coffee that came out of this thing was way too dirty, too sludgy. Just didn't care for it. So I would not recommend, if you get the coffee maker, if you like a clean cup of coffee, like a traditional drip coffee maker, I would not recommend you use the reusable filter unless you like French press like coffee. Now there are people out there who like coffee that comes from a French press. I just never been a real fan of coffee that comes out of a French press. But needless to say, I do think this is a fantastic coffee maker, and I would strongly recommend it. But just note that there are cheaper options. There is the Cuisinart DCC 3200, which actually is a much bigger coffee maker, because as you can see, that's an 8-cup coffee maker. I don't know if the camera will focus on that. Yep, 8 cups. But what I do like about it is, if you go into the menu here, you can change the brew strength. So you can choose bold. Let's see. You can choose a bold option. You can choose mild, medium, or bold. You can also choose what temperature you want the coffee to be. You can either choose hot or extra hot. And you can also program the coffee brewer to turn off at a certain time. You can also set the clock, of course, and then let's see. You can also program the coffee maker to come on in the morning. So those are features that the Technivorm Mocha Master just would not have. And the Cuisinart DCC 3200, now that's a 14-cup coffee maker. Now I don't know about you, but I don't need that capacity. So I think this is a much better option. I think quality over quantity is much better. So I think this is more than enough, an 8-cup coffee maker. But as for the Technivorm, yeah, it does not have a timer, or you cannot program it to come on in the morning. Well, I don't use that feature because I usually grind the coffee right before I brew it, and I would strongly recommend you do that. To grind the coffee right before you brew it. Never use pre-ground coffee. Always grind the coffee right before you brew. And if you guys want to see what kind of coffee I buy here, I will show you that. Now I buy lots of coffee, but this is what I'm talking about, okay? Now this is a huge thing of coffee here. Okay, this is some store-bought coffee from Meyer. It's called the True Goodness Peru coffee. It's organic coffee. I think the coffee, this is actually it surprised me a lot, because I generally order my coffee online, and I've ordered my coffee from a couple websites, and I actually have ordered coffee from this company called Coffee Bean Direct. Now this coffee is the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe dark roast, and I was not happy with that coffee. I thought the coffee was very bitter, not very good. I'm not a dark roast kind of drinker. Now this one here I've gotten from the same company, let's see here, from Coffee Bean Direct as well. And this is the dark roast Costa Rican. As you can see, the bag's almost gone. I actually haven't brewed with this in a long time. I understand what the deal with that is, right? And I've also ordered from Coffee AM a couple times. So I usually order my coffee online. Now the reason I do that is because why I buy it online versus buying in the store, for a couple of reasons. One, they actually roast the coffee right when you place your order. Okay, when you're buying coffee at the grocery store, that coffee has been roasted who knows when. And they don't put a roasted on date, so you have no idea when that was roasted. So that's been sitting on the shelf for who knows how long. And then they have an expiration date that's a year out, which that's not good at all, because coffee's shelf life, coffee has a short shelf life, as you all know, of 2 weeks. That's it. Now, I actually would push that a little longer. I think you can get at least a month's worth of use out of coffee. I think coffee should last about a month. Because especially if you're getting coffee about that big. Now this is from Meyer, and I was really blown away with how well the coffee tasted with that, and I was very impressed with it. But sometimes I just feel like there's things I don't like about this particular coffee. It's a little bit sour on the back end. I drink my coffee black. I do not put any cream and sugar in it, and that's what's the other thing that's great about this particular coffee maker, is the coffee that comes out of here tastes way better than it does out of the Mr. Coffee, like I said. But the big thing is it's never bitter. The coffee is evenly extracted, because the biggest thing that sets this coffee maker apart from the other ones is the shower head. Look at that. you get a full shower head right here, which is great. You want a shower head that evenly saturates the grounds instead of, you know, most cheap-end coffee makers like a Mr. Coffee, which I had, basically just spits the water onto the coffee grounds. And basically that's all it does. It just spits water on the coffee grounds with this one little single shower head, or it's like a spigot or something, and it just doesn't saturate the grounds. It just saturates the center and not the outside. So then you get this uneven cup of coffee, which doesn't taste very good. You get parts of the coffee it's over extracted and parts of the coffee is under extracted. That's why you get that bitterness with the coffee. And a lot of times you get sourness because of the coffee it's under extracted. The other thing about this coffee maker, what sets this apart from a Mr. Coffee, is this coffee maker is SCAA certified, which that means it is certified by the Special Association Coffee of America. That's a mouthful to say. So what that means is this coffee maker is certified because it meets the Gold Cup standards. Now, Gold Cup standards is the coffee has to be brewed at the right temperature. Like, that's the first one's temperature. The extraction and the proportions, I guess, I don't know exactly how that all works, but the big one's the temperature. Most coffee makers brew well, the water temperature to brew the perfect cup of coffee, it needs to be between 195 and 205. Okay, most coffee makers do not brew between 195 or 205. Most coffee makers brew much cooler than that. So what happens is you get an under-extracted cup of coffee, which is kind of bitter or sour. Now this coffee maker brews between 195 and 205. Now I never actually put a thermometer in this coffee maker to see if it will do that, but I do think the coffee comes out of it. I don't know exactly if it brews at 195 or 205. Now, there are some reviews on this coffee maker. One person did a review where they actually put the thermometer inside of it and tested the temperature, and they said they got a temperature of 160 or something. So it was not brewing at the right temperature, but I don't think that's true. I mean, I think the coffee comes out here as perfect. It makes amazing coffee, but like I said, I don't think the coffee is going to be as hot as it would out of the Technivorm. Now, I know the Technivorm, if you brew coffee with that, if you take one sip of that, you're going to get your mouth burned. But with this thing, it's not piping hot, but, you know, it's hot enough, I think. And I don't like to drink my coffee piping hot. I like to wait till it cools down a little bit. So I drink my coffee kind of like a lukewarm temperature. But, you know, that's kind of me. Now, some people may like hot coffee, so if you like piping hot coffee, this may not be for you. But other than that, I think it makes fantastic coffee. I'm very pleased with it. And like I said, I was going to own this coffee maker for a couple years, and then in a couple years, then I'll probably break down and get a Technivorm. That's what I'm thinking, because I think the Technivorm is definitely going to make much better coffee than this. So I would say, for me, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to keep this coffee maker for a couple years, and then I'll finally break down and buy a Technivorm. And once I do, I'll do a review on that. How about that? So, needless to say, I think this is a fantastic coffee maker. I highly recommend this to anybody. I think it's the best option, and I would highly recommend this over a cheaper coffee maker. However, I do think that I would definitely take a look at the Cuisinart DCC 3200, which is a little bit cheaper than this, which brews really good coffee too, and it does brew at the right temperature, and it is actually top rated by Consumer Reports. It is the #1 coffee maker in Consumer Reports because it brews at the right temperature. So I would take a look at that one. But this one definitely exceeds my expectations. And I should have got this DCC 3200, but I thought that would be a great coffee maker. But I thought I just wanted to get this one because of the fact that, and also the other thing too, this is actually a pour-over coffee maker. I forgot to mention that. That actually brews just like a pour-over, which I've used before, and I think the coffee tastes very similar to pour-over. Okay, so this is the only way I'd wrap up this video. So anyways, I would strongly recommend this coffee maker, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye now.